Welcome to episode 217. Beautiful sunny afternoon, 2 o'clock my time. And I wanted to do a special edition because I've been hanging out with Lauren, and I want to give some consciousness to this extraordinarily important part of the Summit Salon Spa, and that is the front desk. World-class front desk. There's a lot of front desk people joining me today, and I want you, first of all, give it up. World-class team. Lauren has got a whole bunch of years in that. She's grew up behind the front desk. I'm going to let her tell you her story. From there, went on to become a front desk manager, a leader, hiring, coaching, mentoring people. And I thought, you know what? I want her to engage in the conversation with me this afternoon. Now she's hanging out in the tippy community of salons that are plugged into that and have their front desk, because that technology continues to level up the guest experience. Did a lot of years with Lords and Ladies Salons, 7 salons in the greater Reading area, and I've just been in that salon company a few times. They are just nothing short of extraordinary. When she was there in her tenure, every year, like clockwork, another 10% as the company grew. So she knows how to get in and stay in the zone. In Lords and Ladies, average ticket's $80. Haircut price is $42. For a salon company, that's an average ticket that's twice as haircut. So they're really into making sure that the guests get very involved in the service menu. Interesting about Lords and Ladies is that if you add up their referral and new business, well over 10%. Average salon now is running about 6 or 7. RTS in the game at 15 points, and look at the rebook at 70%. So she's got something definitely that she brings to the table. She's going to give you, she kind of grew up in the industry. I'm going to let her tell her story about that. But she graduates high school and hair school in the same year. So when she graduates from high school in 04, she has her cause license, got a great head start. Signed on with Lords and Ladies in 18, actually went from high school right into that and grew up in the company. Started incubating Tiffy in 2016. She's one of 2 or 3 people when it was a glimmer in their eyes, and then decided that she wanted to take the giant leap and bring this whole piece of front desk and taking the guest gratuity experience to a next level. Did that in 18. It launched in 19, and you know what? The rest is history. You want to be hanging out on these links, handles on Instagram, at Me Tippy on Instagram, as well as Facebook, and I'll get her talking a little bit about that when she comes on. So she's in my green room. I want to go get her. I want to get her talking about her story, and then I'm going to tap her brain for some of her secret sauce for our buddies at the front desk. So let me go get her. See, let's just say a little prayer that the Wi-Fi gods are going to be nice to us this afternoon. And you can see that she is. I'm going to unmute her. You're going to make it feel good. And she's got the little tippy piggy bank. Good to see ya.
Good to see you too, Michael. Thanks for having me on today.
Oh, well, thanks for coming on. You and I have, gotten to know each other over the last few months, and I just love your energy. I love what you're bringing to the table. I love how you're continuing to push the envelope. So when we bring people on, Lauren, we always like to get them chatting about their story first, because it gives us all vision, inspiration, and hope, and I just love your story. So get us started. Who are you, and how did you get to this place?
Awesome. So yes, I grew up in our industry, and that's what really has brought me to this place, because our industry is it's one in a million. When I was younger, I grew up cutting all of my Barbie doll's hair. I mean, it just was like right out the gate. I knew we were going to be cutting some pixies at some point in my life.
How old were you then? Like when you say a little girl, like how old?
Oh, like 5, 6 years old. I mean, they spent tons of money on Barbies, and that money just went right out the window. And yeah, the hair went in the trash.
I
So
can't tell you the number of people I've interviewed that said when I grew up, I like at 5 or 6 years old, I was already having these intuitive callings that I wanted to do hair.
yes, and so I did it. I went to beauty school while I was enrolled in high school. I knew right away I wanted to get a move on. No college, just get me right to it. So upon graduating high school, I graduated beauty school as well. And during that time of my training in beauty school, I applied at Lords and Ladies, who you mentioned earlier. At that time, they were 3 locations going on 4 locations.
What year was that? What year was that?
2003.
Oh, wow.
That was in 2003. So I was working as a salon assistant and going through their grad program. They had an extensive training program as well before you proceed on to be able to provide services for clients. So, trained while I was in school. And toward the end of my training, and I went on the chair for a brief moment of time, I developed, which some hairdressers develop, called dermatitis. So I had a skin allergy. So
Wow.
I was doing hair and was so excited. At that point, you're ready to go. You want to take as many clients as you can. You're excited. And that dream, the brakes got put on. And that was kind of out of my hands. So I kind of had to leave my dream behind, unfortunately, in the regards of.
Oh, that had to be
hair.
so. You go through high school, and it sounds like you might have had some time with Lords and Ladies somewhere in that era. You get your hairdresser's license. You got this vision that you want to be a hairdresser since you're like at 5 or 6 years old. You get in the game for a few minutes, and dermatitis hits you, and they're saying, no, you can't do that. You had to be 17, 18 then?
Yes, I was.
Very bummed. I got to believe you're very bummed out. It's like, what? You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, my ego was pretty shot down at that moment.
So what, you wouldn't be here today had you not gotten to a level at the front desk. So apparently the universe had something else in mind for you, was conspiring for you to do something else. And so how did you get from dermatitis, hairdresser on my hands, to front desk, and then you took it up at the front desk? I'm real curious about what drove you to do that.
Sure. So at that point in time, I had a meeting with the owner and director of operations, and they, said, unfortunately, like, time to call it quits. You got some options though. So they were gracious enough to allow me to explore the front desk, as that was my next, segue into anything in the salon industry in that career. At first that was hard to take that, but like you mentioned, the universe was speaking to me, and I absorbed that and went to say, okay, let's try this out. I worked at the front desk, checking in, checking out. It was a little scary at first, but I really started to find a passion there, because I was able to kind of coach and cheer on the rest of my team from a different view and perspective, and still offer a service to clients, without having to be hands-on and touching them and shampooing their hair. I could still provide an extraordinary experience from the moment that they walked through the door to the time that they left, making sure that they felt good. So I took that opportunity to.
Wow,
that's a big.
That's big, Lauren. So I'm putting myself in, your shoes. I can't help. I got to ask you this question. You don't see it, but that to me almost feels like I had an experience that was surprising to me. All of a sudden, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be behind the chair, and now I'm at the desk, and what do I make of that? And do I stay? Don't I stay? I decided to give it a shot, and shortly thereafter, I'm having an experience where there's opportunities of serving my peers, there's opportunities of serving guests, and all of a sudden, what seemed to be dreadful is interesting, and it's inspiring, and it's fulfilling. Is that it? I get that sense that happened to you.
You're picking up what I'm putting down, Michael.
Wow. That had to feel good because you're back here going, okay, where's this going? And
Yeah,
all of a sudden, the
scary.
blessing in disguise, I guess the universe really saw something for me that was beyond what I was intending to do. And then very quickly, you started growing up in the ranks of leadership. Now, it's one thing to be in front desk and then leader, manager, team. How'd that happen?
Yeah, you just have to accept the challenge.
Right.
uh, yeah, I mean, we were a growing company, and we just have had a great leadership team. Terry McKim, the founder of Tippy, he was a part of that too, and just you just accept the challenge and keep growing. We eventually went to 7 locations,
Wow.
and we did that all through our teamwork, and of course, Tippy was a huge part of that as well.
Yeah, you and Terry began incubating Tippy. How long were you behind the desk before the idea, the inspiration to create this digital resource? Are we talking a year, 2 years after you started? Like, do you remember that?
Oh yeah. So let's see, 2004, 2006. I mean, at least 10, 10 plus years.
All
Yeah.
right, so you're behind the desk, 10 years plus, leader, building a team, the
Yeah.
inspiration to start playing around with something that was going to level up the client experience around
Yeah.
gratuity. That was getting awkward in a lot of different ways. So you were
Right.
actually involved in incubating it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Our whole team did. Yep.
Wow. So that happens, and then you decide that it's your calling to bring this to the world, and the rest is history. Like, what's your life like now compared to what it was 2 3 years ago? Because to me, that sounds like a very sharp trajectory.
To say the least, it is. So this month is actually my 2 year anniversary with Tippy since I have fully left the salon, and it's been amazing. So it's neat because I get to stay connected with the salon industry. I get to stay connected still with the Lords and Ladies team, but also salons across the entire country. So I kind of look at it as I can continue to coach and to lead on our beauty industry and succeed by using a digital platform that we found to be so successful, which
So
is
it sounds like you now are going into these places that have pre-existing front desk systems, and you're with your experience of 10 plus behind the chair with a digital tool, you're you're bringing in something that I'm going to call the front desk reimagined, so that
yes,
when the guest comes to the front desk, whatever their experience was of something that you would see kind of basic and transactional, that experience is leveled up substantially, huh?
absolutely, absolutely, it really has.
So, like, where do you go from here? Like, what's next for you?
So, really what's next is just like you said, leveling up the guest experience. It's huge. When a client walks through the door, the front desk is the first interaction that a client has with the salon, and that can make or break the entire experience, even from the time that the front desk person picks up the phone. So ultimately, our goal at Tippy is to really make sure then at that following, the entire experience, because they're working hard. The front desk is working hard to make the client feel welcome. The stylist or service providers making that client look and feel good. So by the time that they get to the checkout, we want them to have a seamless experience with leaving a tip. We want them to show appreciation for the value of the experience that that stylist provided and not make it awkward. That was huge. When I was at the front desk, it's an awkward conversation. And when you're training a new front desk person, it's an awkward thing to talk about and when they're not sure. So we really want to make that the easiest possible transaction that can be possible.
Before I started having the conversations about this piece, this conversation that we're having now, frankly, my confession is I took it for granted because that experience had been part of the front desk to way back to when I began my career. I think I was like 19 or 20 as a hairdresser, and that's kind of sort of was the modem of operandi, and I'm sure it was that way before that in the 60s and 50s. So I didn't think about it. It was like, okay. But
Hmm.
when all of a sudden you guys came, you started bringing a mindfulness or a keener sense of awareness that, look, like it or not, when a guest is at the front desk and they're about to, pay for their services, there is that piece called, are you or are you not going, are you not interested in leaving a gratuity? And that question is asked, and there's people around. And
Hmm.
then if you say yes, okay, so how much do you want to leave? And all of a sudden it's like, my God, we're putting people in a I call it creepy. When I was interviewing
It is.
Rihanna last week, she's the one that really woke me up about that. And now you're kind of like putting it under a microscope. It's like it's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved your word for that too. Creepy. It is. It's very awkward. You put them on the spot. Yeah.
So tell me about, if that's the pain point,
Hmm.
where's the promised land? How does this technology, this digital tool, um, reimagine that experience so that it not only takes creepiness out of it, but it's a memorable, it's interesting, it's innovative. The guest leaves with a, wow, isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So the biggest thing, the biggest component to really allow that experience to happen is to train your front desk and to get them prepared so that they can assist with that, and just coming up with some scripting for them so that they can seamlessly introduce the tipping experience as something that's not abrasive or awkward, but to make it a really fun digital experience. And clients love, if you think back, like you had mentioned in the beginning of your career, I mean, everybody had cash, even before everything that just went down in our country. Everybody had cash. And it's migrated to plastic. So people want to have a seamless tipping experience, but also let their stylist know where that tip came from. We interviewed clients at our 7 salons as to where do you think that tip goes when you're leaving it on a credit card, when you're signing that boring receipt. And a lot of clients think that it's being split among the entire staff, or the salon keeps a portion of it. So, having them being able to tip their stylist directly just when they had a $20 bill and they're handing that $20 bill to their stylist, a client will tend to tip more knowing that where that tip came from.
Yeah, I mean, this piece that we're having now is not secret, but it's sacred, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of empathy in that. And it's interesting because in the time that, first of all, I'm a believer of it. I get very passionate about this resource, but it's been interesting that as I bring it, that there's a lot of whether we're talking hairdressers, owners, whatever, that cash is king, and it's about money, 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 and it's like, well, the message that I see is that we as a world, as a society, good, bad, or indifferent, we're moving more into paperless, into digital. And now COVID is almost like pushed us over the
Mm-hmm.
edge of that. So we can whine about it and complain about it and resist it and criticize it. I don't think it's going away. It looks like it's trending, and if you fight it too much, all of a sudden you're going to find yourself being passed up, and you're starting to look old. You're starting to look obsolete. And I remember the same thing happening with social media 2-3 years ago. I mean, I got my royal butt kicked because I had the audacity to suggest then that your guests want a social media experience. They want their pictures taken. And I'll tell you, and now no one's arguing with that.
Yeah.
And I just see a tool like Tippy being the same thing, that the more people I talk to and listen to about this, it really has, it brought an experience to the guest that wasn't there before. And it's important for me that people out there really hear me say that to you and them.
Absolutely.
Now you have some
Absolutely.
script that I mean, part of this is you're training the front desk beyond the tool, but you're really leveling up the desk with language. Talk about this script, because you sent me a copy of it, and maybe we'll post it on the interview. But where
Yeah.
did the scripts come from? Where were they incubated?
Absolutely. So our whole desk team and everyone here at Tippy, we have all worked in the salon atmosphere at one point in our careers prior to working at Tippy. So it was really important for us as a team to, at Lords and Ladies and at Tippy, to put that out there for others to follow suit. Because you do want to be prepared. You don't want to just be caught and not know, how you want to approach something. Everything should be intentional, just like anything in your business. So when the client is coming up to the front desk and they've had this wonderful experience, they are on cloud nine, they're feeling good, they're looking good, and you're presenting to them, their products that they were recommended by their service provider. We felt that it was really great to keep everybody on point with scripting, especially having 7 locations. You want to keep everything consistent. So, of course, when they come up, you want to keep it simple. They're checking out. They're usually thinking about the next thing going on with their day. So just presenting to them that if they would like to leave a tip using their credit card, we have this really fun new digital platform. Our stylists love it because it is allowing them to know exactly that the tip is coming from you, and it goes directly into their bank account, so they don't have to wait for their tip.
Right.
When they hear that feature and benefit of their stylist knows that they know, and that they're not having to wait for it, it's completely bypassing the salon. It's going right to their stylist. Clients fall in love with that idea because it's connecting them right to their stylist. And that was really key for us to just keep those key components a part of that conversation, that it's benefiting their stylist.
Yeah, I loved the term you used. It keeps the conversation on point, and that because it's the guests that just they feel the experience that they had in the chair it's off the chart. It's extraordinary. They feel grateful, and they're looking for a way to express it. And what you're saying is it gives the guests peace of mind that not only is it going directly to stylist, but they're getting it like now. It's there. Yeah. And it doesn't victimize the salon owner, because when the salon owner does some due diligence on it, there are some costs that are incurred by the salon that go away. So it's one of those for the good of all and the harm of none. Now,
It truly is.
you have some other script as well for the service provider. And what I love about your script models is it's like you've scaffolded something, but the people I've talked to find their own voice in the script. It's like borrow our voice until you find yours, but people basically translate it so that when they say it, it doesn't sound canned.
Absolutely. Yeah. And everyone has to make it fun. Of course, we give some generic scripting that is, like you said, borrowed until you find your own. And it's really neat to see when we have salons. We love it when salons tag us on things in social media or share with us what they come up with, because we can help to coach based on what they came up with as well. But it's so important that service providers share with their clients. They kind of tee up that experience at the front desk. They have a relationship with their client more so than a front desk person would. So when they are walking their client to the front, they're making some product recommendations of what they would suggest they take home to replicate the style. And by the way, we have a really cool new tipping platform up front. The front desk is going to tell you all about it. Right. And that's it. Just keep it nice and simple. Just get them thinking about what this new opportunity is. The more that you mention something throughout a visit, the more it sinks in with the client.
Yeah. Now and I just had a conversation with Julie Molina yesterday, who is the Summit's front desk team leader, and the salon that she's a shareholder in, Zotos, uses that. She says it's transformed their front desk. But now, as I'm getting to know those Summit salons that are on Summit's front desk system, they integrate this technology into that. It's like a 1 + 1 is 10. So to the degree that you're on Summit's front desk, You bring this in, it's right up there with like pouring nitroglycerin on a bonfire.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we love jewels too. Yeah, they're fantastic.
So we got a couple more minutes left, and I want to talk about the salon owner because there's you even have a component there for some verbiage for a salon owner. So from a salon management leadership standpoint, how do they communicate with guests coming in?
Sure. So with the client, before they even come in for their salon visit, it's so key to educate them about what to expect. Especially when you're first launching something new, you want to educate them as to what's to come. So we do provide a graphic that you can either email to clients or post on your social media to let them know, hey, Tippy's in the house. We've seen many salons that come up with their own graphic or just take a picture of Tippy at their front desk with their own scripting. But just to post on social media to, send an email out to clients or guests that, we have something new available for you when you come in, and here's why we chose to do this is so important, because again, the more that you repeat something to a client and let them know and put it in front of them, they become more educated and just prepared for what their experience is like.
I love it. Now I got a couple more minutes left with you, and right on the 12th hour today. Yeah, I want to first of all thank you for what you've made a very, very, very gracious offer to people in the Summit community, the Michael Cole Summit Facebook community. I want to give you a couple minutes to talk about this because it sounds like a steal to me. It was something about a Michael Cole 50 kiosk giveaway. What is that?
Yes, absolutely. So we typically, Tippy it's a very minimal cost for a salon owner to begin with, especially if you're a salon that's paying for credit card processing fees. We save a great deal there, not only also increasing tips for stylists, but typically Tippy's only $300 annually to have at your front desk. It does include the hardware, but for all of Michael Cole's friends, we are giving away, we have 50 kiosks that are set aside that you would have 3 months free to get Tippy in your salon and give it a try. It's always a risk-free trial, but we really wanted to extend some time that you can just really enjoy that experience, get your hands on it, and enjoy Tippy.
So what you're saying is and you said you're allowing 50 of my members of my community to come into the fold, and their first 3 months is compliments Tippy.
Compliments of this guy here.
Yeah, and L'Oreal just did something that I thought was unprecedented there. That up until now, the only real strategic relationship L'Oreal had was with Summit, and allowed salons to use level points for Summit training and products. And now you're now the second resource company. So if somebody did decide to do this, they would they could access their level points to make this happen. And you're going, no, yeah, that's great, but for the first 3 months, it's compliments Tippy.
Absolutely, and we know that you'll love it, and we guarantee that you're gonna keep it in once those 3 months are up. So you could absolutely, that was a great point. So after your 3 months are up, you could absolutely go on to level and have Tippy beyond that 3 months at no cost, which is really cool.
Well, what I'm going to do is once I say goodbye to you and we express our gratitude, I actually have a PowerPoint that I'll pull up. I didn't want to pull it up while you were on, and I'll kind of get that covered. Now, before you leave, I've had the opportunity to have Rihanna on last week as the service provider that's just blowing it up with Tippy. And if you're watching this conversation and you haven't seen the Rihanna interview, do that. And I would love a salon owner in the Tippy Summit community to come and have the conversation with me and my followers, so that we got all the perspective. We've got the stylist perspective, we got the owner perspective, and I want you to find me a Tippy Jedi real time behind the front desk, so that he or she can have a conversation to assure that part of the community that this is going to make your life less difficult, especially now being in COVID.
You got it. Yeah, done deal. I'll definitely do some homework. We'll definitely find an owner to chat with. That would be awesome. I really.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
we went a little over, and I never go over for so this is because this is near and dear to my soul. I wanted to make sure that people really in our community had the opportunity to see that this is something. I think it's one more big tool that we're using to reimagine, recreate, reinvent the salon for the post-COVID era. We've seen more change in our business in the last few months than the last decade or so, and I think we're going to see more.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, Lauren, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to spend a couple more minutes with my friends, and then I'll check back with you in a little bit to find a Jedi at the front desk using this, as well as the salon owner, so that we get the whole piece. So I'm going to say goodbye to you. We're going to give it up for you one more time. And
Thanks so much, everybody.
thanks for coming on. Say hi to my homies at Tippy.
Will do. Bye.
Give it up for her one more time. You guys. I want you to see. I want you to see this because I wasn't expecting it. That this was sent to me probably 5 minutes before we went live. So what they're saying is to people in my community is 50 kiosks. They'll give it away for 3 months. And so at the end of 3, if it's not working for you, then go the other way. But I have yet to talk with a salon owner that once they had it in went, you know what, this was a bad idea. If you said, is there anybody, is there probably, I just haven't, I think I heard of one because somebody, he had a hostile someone that didn't like it, but I have a feeling that they were in that mode, and it's like, I love to change as long as I don't have to do it. But this technology is off the charts, and they've offered 50 of them to people in our community. Thank you very much, Tippy. And for the cynic out there, just so you know, my soul's in this. So I'm not getting money from Tippy because I'm pitching it. This is as important to me as Instagram. This is as important to me as a virtual conversation because it takes creepiness out of the guest experience at the front desk. No matter how you want to slice it and dice it and deny it and rationalize it, it's awkward. And no, wait, there's more. I have been in establishments in the last year or so where they had a technology like this, like going into a restaurant. And I could like take care of everything right there. I didn't have to wait for anything. And first of all, the experience was cool. It was new, it was different. If I felt like I had been underserved by someone, it would reflect it in the gratuity. If I saw that somebody that was serving me was going beyond, it gave me an opportunity to express more gratitude. I use the word gratuity because it's derived from the word gratitude. When we express gratitude for the good that we are receiving, we will get more good on that. That's the law of gratitude. So there's a lot going on here, gang. And if you're interested, there is a direct link. You won't be able to get this unless you use this link. I have this posted on my page. I'm going to continue to post it. It's meettippy.com/campaign/1DZW49. Take a screen grab of this now. Look on my page where this live is being posted. And I'm going to even ask my buddies that are on now, if you're from the Tippy team, go ahead and post that link so that there's no mistake. I want my people, our people, to be able to take advantage of that. So it's been an extraordinary interview. We are reimagining the salon as we speak. So whatever the salon looked like 3-4 months ago before COVID came to town, it's being reimagined, it's being reinvented, it's being recreated as we speak. And, we're having conversations now where digital consultations are happening before guests are showing up for the real consultation. Where we're having conversations now where Instagram is becoming the learning channel for guests that come into the salon or potential guests. And as a guest books, there's a pre-visit complimentary consultation, virtual. That sounded, frankly, creepy to me because it sounded hard, like it's going to take time, and like, what? And I found out yesterday that these virtual consultations are basically texting. That whether it's a service provider or front desk and the guests are texting each other. Now, whether they're using a direct messaging service on Instagram or Messenger on Facebook, or they're using mobile device, and the clients now are taking selfies, texting it in, sending a piece of content of something inspirational, a look coming off of the social media page, and now conversations are happening via text where clients that book, new clients, no shows are going away, tickets are going up 2 to 3 times higher, retail's going up, rebooks are going up, gratuities are going up. Guys, there's a whole conversation going on here. It's the salon business that you and I have been in forever. It's being reimagined quickly as we speak. So stay in this conversation. Click on that link, find out more about it, and keep me posted because I think it's where we're going. So, enough. Busy this afternoon. I'm going to let you get back to your life. I'm going to get back to mine. I'll see you on Thursday evening for 218. Have a surprise guest for you as well. So, thank you, Cassandra Klein. Said so awesome. So glad I have been in the biz. Me too. I'm glad you're in the biz, Cassandra, able to see the evolution of it. All right. Good to see you all. Godspeed. I'll see you in a couple of evenings.